Hi, hola, ciao, bonjour, ni hao. Welcome, students, to Learn English Florida. I'm your teacher, Vanessa. Every week, we will post a new short lesson about Florida. Today is lesson 1 about Florida regions. You will learn about 5 regions in Florida. Listen to the presentation. Listen for our vocabulary words: peninsula, rural, pandemic, and coastline. When finished, you can complete activities about the lesson. Let's get started. If you don't live in Florida, you may think that everything is close. Yet did you know that driving from Miami to Pensacola takes more than 10 hours? Florida is a very long state. It is a peninsula. That means it is land surrounded by a lot of water. Some part of it is connected to a larger land area. Florida is divided into a few sections. Let's learn about them. Northwest Florida is part of the Panhandle. That is the area closest to Georgia and Alabama. It is more rural. The state capital, Tallahassee, is in Northwest Florida. Northeast Florida includes Jacksonville, St. Augustine, and Gainesville. The University of Florida is in Gainesville. This part of Florida is also close to Georgia. Central Florida includes Orlando. Many tourists visit Orlando. This part of Florida has grown a lot since the COVID pandemic. Southwest Florida includes Tampa, Sarasota, Fort Myers, and Naples. It's famous for its beaches on the Gulf of Mexico. South Florida includes Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, and Miami. This part of Florida has more people than other areas. There are many people from other countries in South Florida. Almost all areas in Florida are famous for their pretty beaches. Florida has almost 1,300 miles of coastline. The beaches on Florida's east coast are near the Atlantic Ocean. The beaches on Florida's west coast are near the Gulf of Mexico. Now, let's take a closer look at our vocabulary words from this week's lesson. I'm going to read each word a couple of times if you want to repeat it after me, and I'll also read the definition. Number 1, peninsula. Peninsula. A peninsula is a piece of land surrounded by a lot of water, but some part of it is connected to a larger land area. Florida is a peninsula. Italy is also a peninsula. Number 2, rural. Rural. Rural means something is related to the country, like a country area, not the city. Number 3, pandemic. Pandemic. Pandemic is a time when disease spreads quickly in the world and causes changes for many people. Number 4, coastline. Coastline is land on the edge of a coast. Let's move on to our next activity. It's called Which Part of Florida? I'm going to read each statement, and I want you to think of which region of Florida I'm describing. You can say the answer while you listen. Number 1, this part of Florida has grown a lot since the pandemic. Any guesses? Central Florida. Number 2, this part of Florida includes St. Augustine. Do you know the answer? It's Northeast Florida. St. Augustine is a great place to visit, and we'll do a future lesson about St. Augustine. Number 3, the state capital, Tallahassee, is in this part of Florida. You know the answer? Northwest Florida. Number 4, Sarasota is in this part of Florida. Do you know the answer? Southwest Florida. And number 5, Miami is in this part of Florida. And South Florida is the answer for that. So, to wrap things up, we have some discussion questions. If you're sitting with someone watching this lesson, you can talk about the questions with your partner. If not, you can write your answers in our comment section with this video. We'd love to hear from you. Number 1, have you been to Florida? Number 2, what other states have you visited in the U.S.? Number 3, what parts of Florida have you visited? And number 4, what parts of Florida do you still want to visit? So, to wrap up today's lesson, first we say thank you. You can find the slides for this lesson and the full reading as a document on our YouTube page. You can also find the full reading from today on the final page of the slides, which I'm about to show you. Here. This is the full reading that we worked on today. And as a final reminder, we want to say please like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss any of our weekly lessons at Learn English Florida. Thanks, everyone. See you next time. Bye-bye.